Hello, students. Have a great day. Health is a concern for many. Today, we will explore the topics from the chapter Human Health and Diseases. That is one of the chapters from grade 12. Can anybody say what do you mean by health and what do you mean by disease? Yes. Health, when we are thinking about the word health, immediately it will come to our mind. Health is the absence of disease, right? It is the absence of disease. But do you think it is only the absence of disease? According to WHO, health is defined as it is the complete physical, mental, and social well being of an individual and not merely the absence of disease. Okay, so remember the definition of health. Health is defined by the World Health Organization, WHO, the state of complete physical, mental, and social well being of an individual, not merely the absence of a disease. So, a healthy individual maintain proper body functions, emotional stability, positive social relationship. Then only we can say that that particular person is healthy. Coming to the second part of this major one is the disease. So, disease we know any malfunctioning of the body part or any disturbance in the body function, generally we can say as the disease. So, disease manifests through various symptoms, signs, and all. Right? So, health, there are many factors influencing the health. One of the important factors are genetic disorders, then lifestyles and infections. What are genetic disorders? Genetic disorders are the disorders that are related to the changes in the deficiencies or changes in the genes. We are getting the genes from our parents. If any defective gene is transferring from the parents to the offspring, then definitely that gene will express in the offspring's body, which causes various problems. So, many kids we can see by birth some disorders will be there, that is due to some defective gene. Second factor influencing health is the lifestyle choices. So, lifestyle choices that includes what we are intaking, what are the dietary choices, water intake, physical activities, personal hygiene, etc., included in this. The third one is infections. Infections are due to some pathogenic microorganisms. We know the various microorganisms like a bacteria, virus, fungi, protozoa, and all. Those are included under pathogens. They are microscopic pathogens. They also causes various disease. So remember the factors influencing health, genetic disorders, lifestyle choices, and infections. Now, can anybody say what are the conditions necessary for maintaining a good health? Yes. What are the conditions? There are different conditions necessary. One is a balanced diet, personal hygiene we have to maintain. We should follow regular exercise, mental well being, and adequate rest. So, what is balanced diet? A diet which contain all the essential nutrients. Essential nutrients we know carbohydrate, proteins, fat, vitamins, minerals all should be there in a proper proportion. Then only we can say a balanced diet. So balanced diet is very necessary for maintaining the good health, but it is not only balanced diet, some other factors also like a personal hygiene. We need to maintain the cleanliness in our body. Then regular exercise. Exercise, there are a lot of benefits in our body. Improve the cardiovascular system activities, boost the immunity, improves mental health, and also help to maintain a healthy body weight, right? Then mental well-being is also another one, because we have to foster the positive relationship with everybody. Then only we will generate in our body good hormones and all that will maintain good health. Then at last we have a adequate rest should be there. We should sleep sufficiently, at least 6 to 7 hours per day. We have to sleep. So during sleeping time, our body will repair the body's cells and all will be repaired, a regeneration of the cells taking place, and our memory power will improve, and also our immune response, immune system also will be improved. So there should be adequate rest. So these are the conditions necessary to maintain good health. Let's discuss more in detail about the different types of diseases. So one classification of disease is acute and chronic diseases. So you might be familiar with the word acute and chronic diseases. So what is acute disease? Acute disease suddenly appearing and it has only short duration in our body. Within 1 week or 1 month, it will go from the body. But chronic diseases are long lasting disease. For example, diabetes, hypertension, all these are long lasting chronic diseases. But common cold, influenza, typhoid, all these are acute disease. So remember one type of classification, acute and a chronic disease. Coming to another classification of disease, one is the infectious and the second is non-infectious disease. So infectious diseases, they are caused due to some pathogenic organisms such as bacteria, virus, fungi, protozoa, etc. So this infectious diseases can be spread from one person to another. So it is also called a communicable disease. So infectious diseases are also called a communicable diseases. Can you give some examples of communicable diseases which will spread from one person to another? Yeah, COVID-19 is a communicable disease. Then common cold is a communicable disease, right? So what is non-infectious diseases? Non-infectious diseases are not caused due to pathogen. There are some specific reasons there, like a genetic disorders, some defective gene causes some problems. That is non-infectious. Then lifestyle choices, environmental factors, or the degeneration of the specific tissues or organ. All these are included in the non-infectious diseases. This will not be transmitted from one person to another. So we can say non-infectious diseases are also called a non-communicable disease. Non-communicable diseases. Okay, so remember non-communicable diseases and infectious diseases. Suppose if I am telling about the nutrition deficiency disorders like beriberi, scurvy, etc. All these diseases come under which category? These diseases come under non-infectious disease. That is due to the nutritional deficiency. It won't transmit from one person to another. Right? So let's discuss more in detail about the communicable diseases or infectious diseases. First of all, bacterial diseases. As we all know about bacteria, it is a prokaryotic organism. What do you mean by prokaryotes? Yes, what are prokaryotes? Prokaryotes are the single-celled organism, but they have a primitive nucleus there. Primitive nucleus means there is the nuclear material without a nuclear membrane. So when these organism enters into the host body, they produce some toxic substances which will damage the host cells. And a bacterial infection can be treated by using antibiotics. Right? So remember, antibiotics are useful for bacterial infection because antibiotics consist of chemical that prevent the biochemical pathway of the bacteria. But nowadays, some bacteria they got some antibiotic resistant capacity. That is a big concern in the medical practice. Right? So let's discuss some examples of bacterial diseases. First is the typhoid fever. So typhoid fever is caused due to a bacteria called Salmonella typhi. Remember the name of the bacteria? Salmonella typhi. It is a rod-shaped bacteria, and this bacteria enters into humans' body through contaminated food and water. When we eat contaminated food, street food, or not boiled water and all, there is a chance of typhoid fever. And this Salmonella typhi, through those food and water, contaminated food and water, it enters into the intestine and causes some symptoms and also gastrointestinal symptoms it causes. So what are the gastrointestinal symptoms such as the abdominal pain, diarrhea, loss of appetite, then weight loss, etc. In addition to that, there will be high fever, severe headache, weakness, and all there. And the presence of Salmonella typhi can be diagnosed by a test called a Widal test. So, this test will detect the presence of antibodies against the bacteria. So, when the bacteria enters in our body through the contaminated food and water, our immune system produces antibodies against the bacteria. So when there is a more and more antibodies there, that is an indication of active infection. Right? And there is a case in medicine. There is a cook, Mary Mallon. Her nickname was Typhoid Mary because he was a carrier of typhoid. That's why her name is Typhoid Mary. Okay. Moving on to the next bacterial disease, that is pneumonia. Pneumonia is caused due to two bacteria. One is Streptococcus pneumoniae and the second is Haemophilus influenzae. Remember Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenzae. So this is an airborne disease. Airborne disease only. It will spread through the air. In addition to that, infected utensils also, through the infected utensils also, this will spread from one person to another. And its main target site is the alveoli. Remember, the target site of this Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenzae are the alveoli. It is the air sac present in the lungs, right? We know this. The alveoli are very, very important. Why? Because through the alveoli only exchange of gases taking place. Exchange of gases. Which are the gases? Oxygen and carbon dioxide taking place through the alveoli. If there is any problem in the alveoli are small air sacs. If the alveoli wall, if any problem is there, then there is no exchange of gases. That means it affects the respiration problems. The person will not get enough oxygen. Respiratory difficulties the person will face. Right? So the key symptoms of this disease are that fever, chill and fever. Then there is a body weakness and all. And it is mainly transmitting through the inhaling droplets or utensils and all, contaminated utensils. Right? Moving on to the next disease is a viral disease. So bacteria is a prokaryotic organism coming to virus. It is an acellular particle only. Viruses are acellular particle. Why it is called acellular particle? We cannot see the proper cellular structure in virus. Only the genetic material will be there, which is surrounded by only the protein coat. No plasma membrane, no cytoplasm, no nucleus, nothing. Only these two structures are there. There will be a protein coat and then the nuclear material that will be either DNA or RNA. So there will be DNA virus or RNA virus. And this virus outside the body of the host, it is just like a biotic agent or a non-cellular substance. When it enters inside the host, then it controls the cellular host cellular machinery. Important point. Okay, so virus is an obligate intracellular parasite that controls host cellular machinery for reproduction. After that, it reproduces with the help of this host cellular machinery. And here, the treatment, when we are thinking about the treatment, antibiotics will not work in viral infection. Then what will work? Antiviral drugs are there. That will be useful for curing the viral diseases, not the antibiotics. Let's have some examples of the viral diseases. One is common cold. So, common cold, at least one time in our life, everyone faced this disease like a common cold. And this common cold is caused due to a group of virus called rhinoviruses. So, rhinoviruses are small RNA viruses and it is highly contagious one. Important thing is it infect only the upper respiratory tract. Okay, pneumonia, we learned that is also affecting the respiratory system only, but it is deep inside the lungs, alveoli it is infecting. Here, common cold virus, rhinovirus is infecting only the upper part of the respiratory system. And all of you know the symptoms of common cold. What are the symptoms? We may feel slight fever, sore throat will be there, nasal congestion, running nose, all these are the symptoms. And it is mainly transmitted through the contaminated air. It's an airborne disease and also through the contaminated utensils and all. Direct contact it is transmitting. And this is this disease or that the viral diseases can be cured within 1 week or maximum 7 to 10 days because our immune system completely clear the infectious organisms from the body. One more example of that viral disease is poliomyelitis. Poliomyelitis is caused due to the virus poliovirus. Poliovirus, first of all, it infects, its a target site is the nervous system. In the nervous system specifically, it affected the motor neurons in the spinal cord. As a result, muscle weakness and slowly paralysis taking place. Right? So poliomyelitis, and what are the viral diseases examples? Poliomyelitis and a common cold. What are the examples of bacterial diseases? Yes. What are the examples we learned about the bacterial diseases? One is pneumonia, another one is the typhoid. Typhoid is caused due to Salmonella typhi. Right? Yes. Moving on to some viral, contemporary viral threats. Nowadays, we can, there are a lot of reports regarding these viral diseases like a dengue fever, chikungunya, COVID-19. So, dengue fever and chikungunya both are vector-borne disease that's caused due to the mosquito Aedes mosquito. This the dengue fever is caused due to the virus flavivirus. Chikungunya is caused due to the virus chikungunya virus or alpha virus. So flavivirus, they causes some problems like a high fever, then a headache, muscle pain, like too much of body pain, muscle pain, and all will be there. Chikungunya, it will mainly affect the joint pain, severe joint pain that persists for months. COVID-19 is caused due to the virus SARS coronavirus that infect the respiratory system. So respiratory system it affects and the long term effect will be there. So that's all about the viral diseases. We are moving on to the next disease, that is a protozoan disease. Okay, so remember, bacterial diseases, bacteria are prokaryotic forms, viral diseases, virus are the acellular structure, protozoans, they are the eukaryotic unicellular forms. Eukaryotic cells only, protozoans. That means they have a true cell is there. True cell means a nuclear membrane is there. Nucleus with a nuclear membrane. So they have a complex life cycle. They generally transmit or enter into the human's body through some vectors or some intermediate host is there. So here you need to learn two examples of protozoan disease. One is malaria. Malaria caused due to Plasmodium species. Why Plasmodium species? Plasmodium is the genus name. Species, there are different species are there infecting that causes malaria. So the infecting agents are Plasmodium falciparum, Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium malariae, and Plasmodium ovale. When you compare all the four different types of Plasmodium, which is the most dangerous one, which causes malignant malaria, that is Plasmodium falciparum. This is one important question, right? So, which causes malignant malaria? That is Plasmodium falciparum. It is causes dangerous that symptoms and all. Even malaria, Plasmodium malaria also causes chronic infections. So, according to NCERT textbook, you have to learn the life cycle of the parasite Plasmodium. So, parasite Plasmodium, it is a digenetic parasite. Can anybody say what do you mean by digenetic parasite? Di means two. So, digenetic parasite means its life cycle completed in two hosts. There is a primary host is there and a secondary host is there. The primary host is the mosquito. What is the name of the mosquito? The mosquito is female Anopheles mosquito. Female Anopheles mosquito. And the secondary host is human. So in the primary host, it completes its sexual stage. And in the secondary host in human body, it completes a sexual part of the life cycle. Okay. So what are the different stages of the life cycle of Plasmodium vivax or Plasmodium species? Okay, so first of all, an infected female mosquito, female Anopheles mosquito, bites bites a normal human, a healthy human body. Then it injects this porozoite. Okay, remember the name porozoite into the bloodstream. The sporozoite is the infectious stage of the parasite. Infectious stage. So, question they will ask: the infectious stage of Plasmodium is the sporozoite. The sporozoite through the blood, so it enters into the blood. Through the blood, it will go towards the liver. So, one of the target site of this infectious agent is liver. So inside the liver cells, what is the name of the liver cells? Hepatocytes. Inside the hepatocytes, these parasites multiply sexually. Okay. So asexually it multiplies and produce merozoites. Merozoites. And these merozoites, they escape from the liver cells and will go to the blood, and in the blood they enter into the RBC. Okay. So inside the RBC, there also they multiply asexually. More and more merozoites produced. And these merozoites, when they rupture, this that causes the rupturing of the RBC. So when the RBC ruptures, along with the merozoite, some toxic substance is also released. And the name of the toxic substance is hemozoin. Remember, this is another important question. The toxic substance produced from the RBC due to the infection of Plasmodium. What is that? Hemozoin. And because of this hemozoin only, patient suffer from some 72 hours, every 72 hours, 2 to 4 days, the fever, chillness and all. And again, this merozoites coming out to the RBC and infect the new RBCs and all. Okay, so inside the RBC, it produces male and female gametocytes. So here, when you think about the ploidy, sporozoitus haploid condition, and the same haploid conditions there in the merozoites and also the gametocytes, not the gamete, gametocytes. So the gametocytes produced in the RBC of the infected human. In that time only, the mosquitoes suck the infected human's blood. So from the blood of infected human, this infected RBCs enter into the mosquito's gut. And where there what happens, this gametocyte produce gametes, the male gametes and the female gametes. These male gametes, female gametes fuse to form zygote. And this zygote develop into sporozoite. Okay. And this sporozoite, so when you think about here, this is like gametocytes, they produce the gametes, that is also haploid condition only. And these haploid gametes fuse to form the diploid zygote. Diploid zygote undergo meiosis and then mitosis to form meiosis. Okay, so reduction, division, and then mitosis to form sporozoite. That is why again the haploid condition. And the sporozoite, some of the sporozoite are more motile and it escape from the gut and will go to the salivary gland of the mosquito. Salivary gland of the mosquito. And there it is ready for the next infection. So that is the life cycle of malarial parasite. Let's just recap once again. So infection in the host body, an infected female mosquito bites a human, injecting the infectious sporozoite into the bloodstream, and then sporozoite travel through to the liver where they multiply asexually. They multiply asexually within the liver cell and it is asymptomatic. There is no symptoms and all. Then from the liver, that merozoites released from the liver infecting the RBC, there they multiply, causes a rupturing of the RBC and they release the hemozoin. That causes chill and a high fever every 3 to 4 days. Okay. Then then when a female Anopheles mosquito bite an infected human, it ingests the blood containing gametocytes to form the parasites. And then in this gametocytes will go to the gut of the mosquito where it multiplies sexually. That is why the sexual reproduction part is there in the primary host, that is a mosquito, and asexual reproduction part is there in the secondary host, that is human's body. And there in the gut region of the mosquito where it multiplies, sexually reproduce and produce the sporozoite. And some sporozoite escape from the gut and then move towards the salivary gland, and it is ready for the next transmission. Okay, so malaria is a vector-borne disease. Moving on to the next protozoan disease is amoebiasis. Amoebiasis is caused due to a protozoa called Endamoeba histolytica. Remember, Endamoeba histolytica is the causative organism of amoebiasis. So this Endamoeba histolytica infect mainly the digestive system in the large intestine. So related to that, the digestive system related symptoms will be there in this case. Constipation will be there, abdominal pain, cramps, stools containing excess mucus, even the blood also there in the stool. So that is little severe. In the severe case, there are that bleeding and all will be there. Okay. And this transmission of the diseases, it is mainly transmitted through some house flies and all. House flies as the mechanical vector in this case. And also through the, so house flies will from that feces and all, they transmit it to the food or water. So through the contaminated food and water, this disease will spread from spread from one person to another, or that is the major carrier of the disease. Okay, so remember we discussed about two protozoan diseases. One is malaria and the second is amoebiasis. Malarial parasites life cycle is important. Amoebiasis is caused due to the protozoa called Endamoeba histolytica. Okay, so next class we will discuss about more like fungal diseases, then helminth diseases and all. So hope you understood today's class. Shall we wind up today's class? Okay, thank you all of you.